Your thoughts on this deal when you saw it yesterday?
Well, I think this may mark maybe the end of a 2-year period where the regulators were really scrutinizing these big tech platforms in China. So this may be a signal that it's time to move on. The plan for breaking it up into smaller units, 6 units, has been going on for 2 years, and this is the end, and we move on. And this could affect some of the other companies perhaps as well. And I think the real test is whether these individual companies, these 6 companies, are going to be competitive on their own, actually. I think some of them will be. Some of them will be. Taobao certainly will be very competitive. But some of the other ones, like AliExpress, the international division, is definitely not as strong as Shein or Temu. So it's going to be very interesting which ones succeed and which ones don't without the overall organization structure. Also, I mean, to be honest, even going into last year with the China reopening, these companies were already starting to perform a little bit better, actually. The government was allowing more gaming approvals, advertising revenues were up, so it wasn't just Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, Lenovo, they all had earnings beats in the last quarter. So I think we're starting to see a bit of a turnaround.
Is there a turnaround in the tone, right, from this new leadership, it seems, that there is more support coming to the private sector?
I think this week at the China Development Forum in Beijing, I think Premier Li Qiang made it very, very clear that China is going to unswervingly open up the economy to foreign players and to private capital. I think they need to, because the numbers, the economic numbers in January and February weren't that good. 3.5% retail sales growth, 1% CPI, negative PPI. That's not going to get you to 5% growth.
Is Li Qiang, and he's going to speak momentarily at the Boao Forum, is he convincing to the markets, though? Because investors, once bitten, twice shy. And 2.5 years, they've been absolutely punished and seen their value drop in all these tech platform companies. When Li Qiang, who's a market guy, he's a pro-business guy, he came from Zhejiang, he came from Shanghai, he saw the rise of Alibaba in his home province there in Zhejiang. Do we take him for his word, or do we roll our eyes and say, same old, same old?
I think we see the results. We wait and see, I think, how the market, what he actually does and how the market responds to it. For example, what he did with Tesla in Shanghai when he was running Shanghai, that was a big step, actually. By bringing in this catfish Tesla, putting more competition to all the local Chinese players, China's got many of the upstarts in the EV sector now, largely because they were forced to compete, actually. So if he can do that in the private sector, that could be quite good.
Is there still a concern that if growth rebounds in the second half in a big way, that some of these policies that have been put in place, the easing of measures, the regulatory crackdown, that could also be pushed back as well, and we could see more? I don't know. Is there that concern still there?
There is some concerns, I think, emanating from last year, the lockdown and everything of that nature. But it looks like China's trying to do a soft takeoff. Everybody else is trying to do a soft landing, right? China's trying to do a soft takeoff. They're purposely not stimulating too much on the monetary or fiscal policy. They don't want it to overheat. Frankly, they don't have a lot of money at the local governments to spend right now. But they also don't want the inflation problem that the U.S. and Europe got into over the last year. So they wanted to gradually grow, 5%, not 5.5 or 6 or something like that.
We're going to see day 2 of this Alibaba rally. I have to wonder, does this kind of restructuring plan lift valuations across Chinese tech now in any way?
I think it helped. It definitely helped in the last couple of days, but I think it still have to get back to fundamentals. Will these units be able to make earnings and do well on their own, actually?